Good morning, and today's New Year's, so Happy New Year to everyone. And I hope everyone had a really great Christmas. It was very quiet here and I enjoyed it immensely. Today's video is really just a quick update to let everyone know. I've had a few people in my comments ask if I was doing okay. I am doing very okay. But I'll admit, I had kind of lost my off-grid mojo for a week or so. Some of you who may not know, we had some pretty heavy snow here 2 weeks ago, a week ago. I don't know, time has just gone by so fast. And the morning of the fresh snow, I discovered cougar tracks right outside my cabin. Let me tell you exactly what happened that morning. It was a beautiful morning. I have no footage because honestly, I was just so freaked out. I didn't go back outside for the whole day other than to turn off the generator. But anyways, I am getting sidetracked. So it was a really nice morning. I went outside, fresh snow. The only tracks that I saw around my cabin were bird tracks. I didn't see deer tracks. I didn't see any tracks whatsoever. There were no tracks on the road at all. I know I would have seen them if they were there, but when I was walking to the generator, there were no tracks. So when I turn on the generator and I go inside, the generator shack, I'm usually in there for like a good minute and a half. In my past videos, I either fast forward it or I speed it up because nobody wants to look at the generator shack for a minute and a half while I'm in there. So that day, I went into the generator shack. I turned on the generator oh, that sun's getting in my eyes. I turned on the generator. I'm just gonna move this camera. That's a bit better. Sun's not in my eyes. I am seeing spots now though. So regular morning, except the world is covered in snow. I go into the generator shack. I'm in there probably for about a minute and a half. Turn on the generator and it's quite noisy when it goes on. It makes like a really big kind of rumble, like boom, 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 boom. And it goes on and then the noise just settles out. Generator's on. I leave the generator shack and the very first thing I noticed was these large animal tracks. I'm a very observant person. After a big windstorm, I go outside, I can instantly spot which tree is down. I can instantly spot things that have changed from one moment to the next. So, and if I didn't spot these tracks, then I shouldn't be out here. Because what was pristine fresh snow when I went into the generator shack now had animal tracks. My first thought was, oh, a deer must have gone by while I was inside the generator shack. But upon closer inspection, they were cougar tracks. So while I was turning on the generator, a cougar had obviously gone by. So that means that he was behind me when I went into the generator shack. And my gears started going as soon as I saw those tracks, and my mind just started, okay, that means, okay, he was behind me. It's like, holy bleep. And I instantly got this rush of adrenaline, and I was like looking around thinking he was there, and I was looking up in the trees. I was, you know, as cougars do, they'll go up in a tree and pounce on you from behind. But I did see that the tracks kept going up the road. So I instantly thought, I'm out. And I just backed up into the cabin. Like I just backed up down the road and I just went into the cabin. And yeah, because if that cougar was around, I wasn't going to be outside. So I think for a couple of days after that, I had really lost my couple of days, probably like a little more than a week. But I had really lost my mojo. I just didn't want to go outside. Bears, I don't mind so much. I see a bear outside, I'll go out and shoo him away, like keeping a really big distance, of course. And, you know, making sure I have somewhere I can duck into. But a cougar? I don't trust cougars. I don't trust cougars at all. I did speak to some locals yesterday, and you know, they were like, oh yeah, there's cougars. You won't see them, but you know, they're there. But they reassured me that they haven't had a cougar attack like that they've ever heard of out here. So that made me feel a little bit better. I have noticed over the last few days we've got a lot of deer coming onto the property. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. So the fact that there's deer on the property means that there's likely not a cougar on the property, because they're not going to hang out, you know, where cougars are hanging out. But on the other hand, when you've got deer on the property, that could attract cougars. So yeah, so it's good and bad that the deer are hanging around again. But anyway, so today's video is really just an update on what I'm getting up to. But I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm getting back outside, and I just moved the camera again. The sun. I'm not complaining about the sun because it's really nice to see sun. We haven't had sun in a little bit, so it's kind of nice. I'm definitely keeping up with the things that I have to do around the property, but I'm not doing those additional things like hauling wood and burning wood, etc., stuff like that. Just because those are jobs that I have to focus on, and I can't be looking around me constantly to make sure a cougar's not, you know, stalking me. It's so unlikely that's gonna happen, but yeah, now I'm just a little bit paranoid. But anyways, I'm not so paranoid right now. I'm much better now. I've talked to a bunch of people, I've done a bunch of reading, and you know, it's really unlikely a cougar's gonna attack me, especially around here. There's ample food for cougars around here. There's birds, and there's all kinds of minks running around. We've had super low tides, so you know, they eat the crabs off the low tide, and from what I've seen, there's a number of deer hanging around. So if in fact he's still on the island, which is unlikely, yeah, there's lots for him to eat. So I've been walking around armed to the teeth. Some days I'll just carry my hatchet, my axe that I have in the cabin is so sharp. That would help me in a pinch, and I always carry this with me. I'm running out of air, so I've got to get a new one. But I always have this on me. That's the best thing to scare away a cougar, is an air horn. And I always have my knife on me. This isn't the best knife because it's a folding knife, but it's good in that when it's open, like it doesn't close. But when I walk around, I literally walk like this. Like I have this in one hand and this in one hand, and I've been walking around, you know, I'm talking out loud because cougars generally avoid humans, but you never, ever want to surprise a cougar. Yeah, you never want to do that. I surprised a cougar once. It was a long time ago on the Sunshine Coast, and whoa, I'm very lucky I had the dog that I had with me, because we were walking down to check the boats on a dock, and there was a cougar, and the wind was coming at us, and there was a cougar on the shore ahead of us. So he didn't smell us. We were very quiet. I wasn't making noise. No one was making noise. So it was me and the dog, and Buttercup was with us too. So a cougar literally just sauntered onto the road in front of us. He came up from the shoreline and he turned and looked at us. He literally just went, what? Like, he was so surprised to see us. And I don't know if you've ever seen, like, on shows or maybe in real life, this cougar, he dropped down like in downward dog kinda, and he started smashing his paws at us, like, just, it was the weirdest thing. And he smelled so bad. Oh, he was just so stinky. But the dog that was with me, he lived at the marine resort I was at. That dog was a wild animal. Yeah, he went after that cougar instantly. Like, he didn't even hesitate. He just zooped right to him. And the cougar came out about 8 feet in front of us. He went after that cougar. And the cougar, like, didn't even hesitate to run. Like, he went down and was, like, you know, trying to scare us away. And the dog was like, oh yeah, and he just whooshed right after him. And the cougar just picked up and turned around and went straight up a cliff. Like, that was on our starboard side, sorry, right side. And he went straight up that cliff, and this dog, Teddy was his name, Teddy went right after him up the cliff. I was caretaking that marine resort for a winter, sorry. And yeah, Teddy went right up the hill after him, and I didn't see Teddy for 3 days. I heard him. He was barking for 3 days, and just like going around and around that resort. Man, that dog was so cool. He was a cool dog. Yeah, so that's well, I had a different cougar encounter too, but I'll tell that another time. But so that's the closest I've ever been to a cougar that I've seen, like, with my eyes. And yeah, but Buttercup was with us too, as I said, and so glad Teddy was there, because Buttercup, like, after Teddy went up the hill, and you know, it's like, oh my God, and I turned and Buttercup's gone. I was like, where's Buttercup? And I turned and looked, and she was running back to the cabin. She just turned and bolted. And she was limping, like, her whole leg was like flopping around. And yeah, turned out as she turned, and somehow when she was running away, she tore her ACL, like, right in half. So she had to get a surgery on her knee. That cost a lot of money. But anyways, so now she has a titanium knee. So that's, yeah, so I'm familiar with cougars, and I don't trust them at all, as I've said. So right now I'm repeating myself. But anyway, so that's going to be that, because I am going to head back to the cabin. I've been working on just a lot of projects on the computer that, you know, in the long run I can sell some of the stuff I make. So yeah, so I've been doing that, and I quite enjoy it. So I've had a really great couple of weeks. But yeah, so we're just gonna get back to doing that. So again, Happy New Year, and thanks for watching.